Let's build a world. Welcome to the King Moolah podcast. Welcome to the King Moolah podcast. Welcome to the King Moolah podcast, y'all. All right. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is King. This topic's about to be kind of fun. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be cool. And I think it's something that we all relate to. I think it's something we should all relate to. We all live in it, right? And what I said and you usually, you should know by now if you've been listening long enough, that when actually going into an episode, I give you a preview of what it's going to be about. So, give you an idea. And this idea is how to build a sustainable world, okay? How to build a sustainable world. Now, absolutely not. Yeah, how to build a sustainable world. Hold on, let me get my trusty iPad. Just a little bit longer. I got my iPad, but let me just... Okay. Let's see. Wait, what's that? Okay. So, how to build a sustainable world. Well, let's just define the word world, okay? Honestly, I'm probably gonna be doing this moving forward. The word of the day, outside of just the definition of what's in the title or what the topic is. Let's go to Merriam-Webster. Let's give the word of the day, Merriam-Webster, and maybe I'll use it. Let's see. Oh, I could download it, but how fast will it download? Looks like it's downloading pretty fast. Okay, let me see if they'll give me the word. Oh, it looks like they do. Skip for now. Here's their word of the day is inchoate. Can they say it for me?
Inchoate.
Inchoate. And what that means is a formal adjective and synonym of vague that describes something that is not completely formed or developed yet. Very interesting, because it's interesting because it's exactly how I feel about doing this topic, because I'm not really developed. I haven't really developed exactly what kind of world that I want. I have an idea-ish, and I've taken just some main things that from this existing world to how to actually build a sustainable world. So I'm just gonna have to go through them, and this is gonna be raw. This isn't gonna be prepared at all, to be honest. I'm just gonna get the main things that I've seen in this world and just go off of that, and better expound upon the existing things, but also create something even better. So without further ado, inchoate. I'm sorry, my goodness. Inchoate. It's an adjective. So this topic is inchoate. Okay? This is an inchoate topic. For sure. For me. All right, so let's just get it into it. Okay. World. What does world mean? I know it seems like everybody should know, but let's be honest. It's just I'm just doing this like I'm explaining this to a kid. What is the world? It's just everything around him. Okay, so the New Oxford American Dictionary defines the world as the Earth, together with all its countries, peoples, and natural features. Number two is a region or group of countries. Okay, that's the second definition from the New Oxford Dictionary. So now let's go to Merriam-Webster. I just downloaded the app so I could just put world. Easy peasy. Okay, world. It's a noun. It says the earthly state of human existence. Okay. Another one is life after death, used as a qualifier. Next, world. Okay. We can go the earth and with its inhabitants and all things upon it. Okay, those two definitions match. The second definition of Merriam-Webster and the first definition of New Oxford. All right. So let's, I guess I'll go into the etymology. Etymology. When was the word world first used? Old English, human existence, the affairs of life, also a long period of time, the human race, mankind, humanity. Old Saxon world, yada yada. Doesn't really say, because it makes sense. Originally, life on Earth, this world, opposed to the afterlife sense, extended to the known world, then to the physical world, in the broadest sense, the universe. Century 1200. Okay, that's just for. They probably just had to put a date on it, to be honest. But yeah. All right. So now that we understand what a world is. What's sustainable and what's unsustainable? Okay, so I should define those for real. Sustainable, and I don't really care to do the etymology for those. I'll just do the definitions. New Oxford defines sustainable as able to be maintained at a certain rate or level and able to be upheld and defended is the second definition. Oh, hold on. Merriam-Webster of sustainable is capable of being sustained, of relating to, or being a method of harvesting or using a resource so that the resource is not depleted or permanently damaged. Of or relating to a lifestyle involving the use of sustainable methods. Sustainability. Okay, to sustain something is to maintain at length without interruption or weakening, lasting, prolonged. Okay. No, I'll just do the etymology just because. Sustained or sustain. Sustainable, 1600s, bearable. A sense now obsolete from sustainable, capable of being continued or maintained at a certain level. Okay, that's what it is. So, unsustainable is what this world is currently heading towards. There's many parts that are already unsustainable, and many parts of the world that are unsustainable. So it's the opposite of sustainable. So the opposite of maintaining or upholding a certain level or rate so that you can prolong it or last it. The other one is to shorten the life. The opposite is to shorten the life, to make it uninhabitable, or the rate. My goodness, bro. The rate at which that we are trying to maintain it is inconsistent, and it's just not able to be maintained at the current rate or level. So unsustainable. It's just not related to. It's depleting the natural resources and permanently damaging it. So instead of sustaining it, which is not permanently damaging, it's actually prolonging its use and helping the world be a better place. All right. Now that all that defining is done, what would make a world sustainable? How I would go about making a world, if I was able to make a new world with everything that everything outside of nature, because obviously nature needs to be there. The current state of nature can be just fine. Just wipe everything out. If I could just wipe all of that out, wipe of everything, current infrastructure, like human-made activity, I wipe all that out and start anew. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just I can do it. I'm just do that just because. Okay, so with that, in order for, and we got humankind who, and when I mean human-made activity, I don't mean like people who are one with nature, who create and coexist with nature and don't, over harvest or, seek to destroy the balance between man and nature and balance between the world's ecosystems. I'm really talking about getting a sustainable, sustainable world, building a sustainable world. So I'm not talking about huts. I'm not talking about, places in indigenous cultures where they have houses and shelter that are that of nature and are not hyper manufactured in a factory or in a science lab or anything like that. So when I mean I'm wiping all those out, I'm just wiping out just current buildings like skyscrapers and concrete. Not that it's a bad thing to be for like concrete and tar and asphalt and all of that. All that's fine as long as it's kept at a limit. For cars as well. Oh man, there's just a lot I want to put in, but we're gonna start with just the world building, not everything that comes in it, but just the world building itself. So the biggest thing that I wanted to do with world building. Let me see if I could search this up. World. Okay. So the basic necessities in order to thrive, for us to thrive, it's not only just about us. Humans need places to stay. They need food. They need water. The basic necessities of life, right? But the way how the society moves, if we want to go into technology and stuff like that, we still got to be appreciative of nature and everything that comes with it. So, my biggest thing is, let me just show you, the main pillars of a functioning society, this is what I got, typically include economy, education, family, government, politics, healthcare, culture, law, and faith. Okay? Essentially, those are the key institutions and systems that contribute to the stability and well-being of a community, allowing people to live and interact together effectively. Now, so we got the basics: food, water, and shelter. But all of this other stuff comes into play when it's not just me and my family, or it's not just me by myself. It's just how can people interact in order for it to not be like how the world is today, crazy and dumpster fires everywhere. Some things got to change. And first thing I would do is abolish the current system that is today, especially in the U.S. Just from the prison to school to prison pipeline to racism to sexism to discrimination to the wealth gap to ineffective wages to the corporations that control that price gouge its citizens every day and make it harder for them to live and actually make a real living. I'm gonna abolish all of that. All of that's gotta go. The judicial system, all that's gotta go. The 3 branches of government probably gotta go unless I can tweak it. But for right now, because they said checks and balances, this, that, and the other. It hasn't really been checks and balances. That's something for a political episode. Maybe I'll just do that for a political episode. Let me write that down. Ooh. All right. Now to go back to world building. Where's that? Here we go. All right. So sustainable world. We got everybody doesn't really have a home. I'm gonna start it slow. I'm gonna build it up to back to 8 billion, but I'm just gonna start with 100 people. 100 people who have the intention of wanting to live and coexist peacefully with nature and themselves. So it's a collective effort to make life easier. Actually, not even 100. Let me say 10,000 people. 10,000 people. Okay? And they're spread across, let's say about the size of Florida. Let's just say that for right now. Let's just say, actually, no. They can be in different parts of the world right now. Because we're going to use the world that we in today. So there's 7 continents. Each continent could have about roughly 15 to 2,000, not 15 to 2,000. Yeah, roughly about 1,500 people. Wherever else that needs more, I'm not really going to pick who's going to have more, which place is going to have more. Just one of them is going to have more, but it's all going to equal like 10,000 people. Okay? Those 10,000, the people, so like roughly 1,500 in their respective areas. There's a lot of land. It's a lot of land. So this is probably going to be pushed back into the olden days, because I want to build it from before Industrial Revolution. Most of the houses made of wood and clay and all those things. Stone and brick, yeah, I think you can, but it was really mainly wood. All right. So, where we at? We starting from the ground up. So before the Industrial Revolution, so places with wood. So it's still not that many people. There's gonna be a lot of social. There's a collective social group. I forgot what they call it. Group something. Individualism. No, it's a group solution. I don't remember the term. I don't remember the term. My bad. Just know that everybody has to work collectively together. There was a specific term that I learned recently that I forgot what it's called, and I really like that. But we'll just call it group. The collective work. Let's just say that for right now. Okay, so what does that world, a sustainable world, look like? The collective work of people all across the world, respectfully in their own areas, and then also having leaders among the people, a few leaders, not just one. Everybody having a few leaders from each respective region come together in how we build a better world. The people in their respective world, they coexist in habitat with nature. They teach about the world around them. The kids are eating real food, natural food. The water isn't poisoned. The well isn't poisoned. There's no pharmaceutical drugs around anywhere. So how it functions, let's just go with the economics the economy really doesn't have the currency for real. There is no paper currency or anything like that. There's more so just bartering. The education is, like I said, the world around you and how to treat people with respect, dignity, people had teaching boundaries and stuff like that. And, there's no wars. There's no wars. Sure, there can be disagreements because, obviously we're all different people, but there is no wars. There's no, not my way or the highway type of things. There's just respect across all playing fields. And if nobody's willing to make it work, then, we simply just won't make it work. We'll just keep it on our side and make it work in our respective regions instead of spreading it across, unless it's something that it is. Unless they can be proven to that it actually would help better society, then that's something that would be considered again. The rules and the laws are super simple, so there's no weird terminology. There's no super repeating terminology that seeks to confuse and that seeks to deceive people, and that makes it really hard and makes it really dull to learn, and only to those who actually care about it, or who actually care about it. How our existing laws now, a lot of the laws are very dull. I've been looking at it, I'm just like, man, these laws are just, the way how they describe it, they make it so boring to where people don't really want to get to know the laws for real. The laws of the land. Everybody has rules. Laws are just another name for rules of how our societies or our regions should behave in our respective region. All our regions are not the same weather, climate, don't have the same herbs and stuff like that. That's why there's world trading. There's still going to be trading amongst people. People have boats. There's boats around here. There's not the modern boats yet. I'm going to get there. But people got boats. People got, people have riding in horses and carriages and, whatever type of livestock that they have. They got cows, they got farmland, they got agriculture, building real foods and using safe methods, even if to not spray those pesticides or herbicides or insecticides on the food that we eat. So it's all natural. So, it's going to come with bugs and birds and bees and all trying to come after the plant, but it's okay because that's what it is. That's the cycle of nature. You got to just be able to understand what it is that plants give food to everybody, not just humans. Okay, so that's exactly what we just have a way of that. Kids can pick out fruits from a fruit tree, get the nutrition from there. They could pick out vegetables, learn about the herbs, learn about plants, learn about what plants to stay away from, because there still are those toxic plants around. You still want to make sure that everything's safe, and people learn about them. This is what we call our scientists. Before it became an occupation and you had to go to a degree just to be known as that and not have it stripped away just because of certain rules and dynamics and regimes that won't allow you to actually express the concerns of certain things that could affect society forever. So, okay. Family is very important. It takes a village to raise a child. That's the mindset. That is the mindset of any region across the world. This is world building, so that is any region across the world have this innate knowing of that's what it is. It takes a village to raise a child. Otherwise, if the child will burn down the village just to feel its warmth. That's an African proverb. I am paraphrasing that, so you can look up the proverb. You can look that up just with the words that I've said. The government, politics, like I said, everybody has a leader to what do I say? Coagulate? Let me not. Nope, not coagulate. Cooperate, sorry. Coagulate has something to do with the liquid. But cooperate with the leaders across the world. And by this time, once I'm still building the world, let me just finish the rest off, and then I'm going to increase the population. Okay. Healthcare, without the hospital systems, because we're not there yet, people just go to their local herbalist, their local herbalist. And if they need help with sickness and stuff, go to the experts and get the right herbs to help with the whatever that's going on, whatever illness is going on with them. Okay? Culture. That's just another way of just their food. Like I said, each place has their respective region, temperature, climate, and their respective foods that they make and that they create, their respective customs that they do in their regions in their parts of the world. Okay. So they're all different and they're all meaningful and they all mean something. The law, like I said, was rules that you follow. Let me just explain the rules. You got world rules. I'm gonna just get the world rules. The innate desire of it takes a village to raise a child. That's one of them. Another one is to, hash things out peacefully. And, but I guess I'm going into there are warriors, just for whatever doesn't change, because there is that level of unpredictability. I'm not going to leave that out, but training warriors and, not to kill unprovoked, unjustified, not to not to cause harm to anybody. Just learning to use words more effectively and implementing strict consequences just in case anybody crosses that, and be shown by example what would happen. As far as what I call quote unquote jail, it's not really jail. It's more so being figuring out what is going on with that individual or people that has gotten them to to break one of those rules, those world rules. And then you got the rules of the region. Like I said, everywhere is going to be different, but there's still this general sense of the greater good for the evolution of the species. And faith, whatever respective region, you respect their region, you respect their beliefs, their values, their core values, and you don't bash nobody. Nobody's getting bashed for what they believe in, because it's slightly different for everybody. So I think it's very important that people just respect that, and that's part of the world building. Those are the key things that I want to see in that's in my sustainable world. Now to get to the world now to get more into the actual buildings of society, the actual physical part. So the population of 10,000 has now increased. Because they're obviously trying to evolve their species, so to keep it going, how far has it evolved? I guess where I was at, what was it? I don't know, 380 or something like that. Let's just say that. Now we've come to a point. Let's say it's what I just explained has. They're still building with wood and stuff like that, but now we fast forward to, let's say, 1600, and new things are being discovered, because also, I haven't even mentioned this. There's such a small population, there wasn't that much people exploring, because there wasn't that much progress in the population increase. But now it's been, what did I say, from 300 to 1600? That's 1,300 years. That has, instead of it being 10,000, now it's 50,000. And people now have been, not 50,000. What am I saying? Excuse me. 10,000 to 1 million people. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I'm gonna go by that. So 1 million people. So now there's 1 million people across the world. There's a lot of places, and there's a lot more people on the planet, kids included, of course. But there's gonna be a lot of adults. That was how many years? 1,300 years. That makes sense. That seems pretty probable to me. It doesn't seem like it's a super increase, but it is pretty probable to 1600. So people start exploring more. They start getting into, and I'm not really remembering what was discovered around that time, so I'm not even going to mention it. But that people are discovering new things because there are more people, and these the world rules are still the same. Everybody still has an appreciation for each other and this, that, and the other. But there has been a lot more increase in conflict and disagreements and this, that, and the other. Okay, that's unfortunate. But there's still, at a minimum, it hasn't been much there hasn't been much war per se per region in the region or in across the world. It's still pretty fine. The world still has a level of peace, not like how it is today. But I'm saying is world building. I'm not gonna come to this world today and all of a sudden it flips to like no wars or very little to now it's on upside down on its head. That's not what I'm doing, because I'm building my world. I'm building the world that what I think is going to be sustainable. So I think what I want to do is, everybody's still looking, everything's still fine overall, but there's some lot more complicated issues with a lot more people because it's not as hive-minded. There's a lot of people. It's people from different. Obviously, well, we all know black people were here first. So obviously, African DNA has spread across the world, but in different regions, it has changed the way people look just based on how going off of what is the existing information today. So a lot of people from different regions look different. So, but everybody still understands that they're human and still understand that there is a respect that needs to be followed of the rules and stuff like that. So yeah, we can fast forward. I'm gonna fast forward more to the 1900s. Okay, another population increase. It went from 1 million to 10 million. Okay, that's what was it? From 1600 to 1900, that's about 300 years. That doesn't seem bad. Like 10 million people, let me split it. Let me just split the population between men and women, boys and girls. Obviously, it's not going to be exactly the same, but just for the purpose of world building, I'm going to just split it in half, 5 million men, 5 million women, and, the men and women include boys and girls. Those can be split as well. So, yeah. Men are doing the work. Well, no, everybody works. Everybody works. But there is no imbalance when it comes to men putting in the work of like being a hunter-gatherer type of things, and the women being nurturers and being the leaders of the houses and stuff like that. But we're in the 1900s, I think we're in the Industrial Revolution, where we're starting to see more bricked up walls and different types of new inventions are coming through. So, we got cameras, and now we got photos. We can make photos outside of just paintings. We can take photos with like cameras, and cars are being introduced. So there's the oil and new things being used, but in this world, it is still limited because we got scientists, architects, electricians, builders, whatever. We got electricity in the homes. It's not just candles anymore. We're actually using light bulbs, this and the other. Thank you for what's his name? Thomas Lattimore. Thank you for that. So yeah, let's fast forward again, because I really just want to get into Let's fast forward 100 years. So the Industrial Revolution, so the population increased from 10 million to 100 million across the world. 100 million across the world. 100 million people across the world. It's not as much as it is. It's not 8 billion people today, but it's 100 million people. So we're in 2000 with 100 million people. Okay. Like I said, my world. It wasn't supposed to be exactly like this one, but it has a lot of fundamental things of this one. We got houses, single family houses in the suburbs, this, that, and the other. Let's just say cars are now a big thing, and they're replicated what kind of cars we see today, and then we see a lot of problems. With the environment and ecosystem. In order to combat that, people are actually still researching. Well, people still have the innate ability it takes a village to raise a child, and that people want to build a sustainable world and keep their sustainable world. But biggest thing with the food is still natural. But the thing is, with what we see with the cars today, the cars are not. I'm gonna scratch what I said about. No, maybe actually, I'm gonna just keep it about the environment. With the oil and stuff like that, and people realizing that is bad for you. Instead of buying more into it, they pull back from it so that dies out, and we go into a renewable source like hydrogen, water engines, and actually things that are not going to harm the environment, that is actually a part of the world. Okay, not petroleum, not oil, not all of those other things. But people have actually pulled back from it because they want the world to stay whole. They don't want the world to be broken and unsustainable. They still want nature to be around. There's still all the species that ever existed that didn't need to be wiped out from evolutionary purposes. They're still here and they aren't wiped out because of humans either. So we could think about the animals that went extinct because of human activity. They're still around, whichever that is. Y'all can look that up. But let's go into that. So the buildings are nice. They're modern looking. They are hybrid. Here I want houses to be hybrids, and to implement parts of nature inside of them. So if you ever seen like eco-friendly houses, that's typically what I mean with houses that are implementing nature and just making it more environmentally friendly. Okay, because we want to save this planet. We want to make sure the planet stays sustained, and we want to make sure people are still eating. There is no homelessness. There's no homelessness. Everybody has a home. Everybody gets to eat freely from the fruit trees and all that. Now, can people own farms and own farmland and be agricultural in these agricultural regions? Yes. But it's not to the point where it's selfish or greedy, or they're just looking to control food supply or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, there's still more than enough land to where you can go in the wilderness and grab an apple from an apple tree or an orange tree, tree or bush or shrub or whatever they call it, and be fine. Get it for the kids and all of that. So the biggest thing with that is we can have skyscrapers that are environmentally friendly too. The laws and the respect, women have agency over their bodies. Now, I do know how big of a topic abortion is, especially now. Honestly, well, I don't honestly. I don't. I'm gonna just say that women should have agency over their bodies. That's it. Um, People are actually having meaningful conversations. Technology is also in here with the industrial, with the building of worlds. We got phones and these technological devices where the internet is here. The internet has came, of course, and it's a beautiful thing. There's no craziness going on. There's no lawless land, and the internet actually has a way that you have ethics. Now, memes and things can be funny, and it can be somewhat insensitive to some people, but it's not to a point where it starts harming or hurting people and whatever speech that comes out of people, because there is such thing as good and bad. It's just however we see it. If that directly comes to harming somebody, those will have consequences. Now, there has to be some rules of ethics to where we find the people who are causing these types of terrible acts on online and offline. Like I said, there's still no prison population at this point, especially in the region where the U.S. would be. There is no largest prison population in the world. There is no even prison for real. It's more of a rehabilitation of learning to what has gone wrong in their life. And there's people who are dedicated to doing that all around the world, providing relief and humanitarian efforts. And, all across, and it's an extensive job, and it I'm gonna just say it pays, not with the currency, but not with this paper money. It's more so we're paying in every job, occupation, or whatever it is, or field or career, there is the minimum wage is actually livable. So even the humanitarian work, the scientist work, the fast food worker, even if it's fast food, I'm gonna allow fast food. I'm gonna allow fast food just because I know that humans are still gonna explore and keep exploring, just like with the oil. I'm gonna allow fast food, but it has not overtaken natural food. Some people have gravitated more towards fast food, okay, but there's not a huge obesity problem like we see in the U.S. To where that it means much of anything. It's just there. You can eat it every now and then, but it's the main thing that you're eating natural, real foods. And in this world, because it's mine, the fast food thing will soon be obsolete. So right now we're in 2000s, right? And it's here, it's fast, and it keeps people going. But honestly, in the world, the work days are slower. Well, not slower. People can sit or stand at a job if they want to. The work weeks are smaller. So it's not 5 days a week. It can be 4 to 3 days, depending on who you are. We have mental health days. We have reconnecting with nature days. If we feel like we've been disconnected because we live in these cities, these places, we can go home and reconnect, to be honest, because it's environmentally made for us to reconnect with that, or reconnect with our families and stuff like that. This is what I'm really getting at when it comes to world building, that the problems, there aren't the major problems of hate and bigotry and power and control and manipulation and deception and all of those terrible things that make up this world. Those things, they're very minimal, and they can be handled quickly and swiftly to ensure the lasting of our species. Anytime there is such thing, there's a high alert of people. Some men are actually protecting the women and children, but they aren't from people who have gone off the deep end, because I'm going to allow them to be rogue people who don't follow the current existing rules of the world, because there has to be that type of balance so that people know what to look out for. It's not going to be super peaceful like it is. I'm going to just give people the intelligence of knowing these things and pursuing and protecting life, liberty, property, whatever it is, that we understand what's going on and understand that there are those people out there, and that we are a community, and that we look out for them and we look out for each other. But for the most part, the world is peaceful. There are just those little snags that keep us knowing that everything isn't always as good as it is. Sometimes things will fall short. Sometimes things won't work. Sometimes things get a little harder to handle, but they can always go back down with the collective work and the collective cooperation of everyone through their respective regions and places. People, new leaders, new ideas, new ways of creating and making the world a better place. That's what it is. Scientists and real research to explore the world around us instead of what the existing world is doing. That's exactly where most of the energy is put towards, because we are naturally scientists, we are naturally architects, builders, welders, carpenters. We're naturally people who build things, who explore, who want to get to know the world around us. So I think that's very important that those things remain at the center, and those jobs are prioritized more than what is prioritized in this world, which is entertainment. Entertainment is cool. There are some people whose purpose is to entertain, to make people laugh, smile, joy. That's fine. But it is not and they can still have a livable wage and not sustainable, but the actual work that's being done to build a sustainable world is that much more prioritized. So they get just a little bit more benefits. Everybody still is in a livable place, and they can still live comfortably, but there are those who will live maybe just a little bit above that. And not to say that as to make it classism, but it is, everybody can live a certain way just as long as they show up. Now, everybody has a place to stay, has access to food and water, natural food, natural water, and all of that. But there are those people who have a little more access to knowledge and things because they're either more curious or they're have put in more work. Now, there's different levels of work, different levels, and that's fine. But they all can coexist. All of it can coexist. So that's really the world that it is. Outside of everything that is of this world is almost not really the complete opposite, but it's a lot better. And let me just jump like 2,000 years ahead. No, not 2,000 years. Let me jump 1,000 years ahead. The world has reached a population of 8 billion. No, 8 billion. Has maintained a world of 8 billion. Well, if I'm going by the world that contains 11 billion people, I'm gonna just say 9 billion. Let me just say 9 billion people are on the planet by year 3000. By year 3000. Okay? And things that we got flying, people can go in flying vehicles, flying ways of transportation, jetpacks, hoverboards, real hoverboards, not segways, but actual hoverboards where people, and there's still laws that exist to, keep people safe and keep people from harm and keep, those graphic, gruesome images from happening, to prevent those from happening, not really accidents or collisions or anything like that. Those are kept to a minimum. But, they're still learning, and there's still, ways to improve, things to go about, trial and error. Even with all of this that I'm saying, it's still trial and error. It's, with with everything that has been done. So I think it is very important that I keep that as a thing. Yeah, what else? I mean, life is still a lot more simple than it is today. There are systems in place that, like I said, that for consequences and for getting people to rehab if they've gone off of a negative end and they are to fit back to come back into society as a functioning member of society and not as a rogue person. That's what I would call them. So, yeah, so we got entertainment, we got movie theaters, we got 8K. Year 3000 is probably like 32K or 64K or something like that. I don't know, 128K. But virtual reality is a thing for sure, because with all the technology that was there, virtual reality is a thing. It's cyber cities. There are cyber cities. There are a lot that's going on, but like I said, to build a sustainable world, all of that has to be kept and limited and controlled. And where there are those people who are there as well, there are rules for people to make sure these things are not being over used or over produced. Because we can see the ways of the world of the future, but we also got to make sure to never forget that nature is a part of all of us. So that's what I think I want to end with, because it's a beautiful thing. A world without hunger, without world hunger, world sickness, all of that, no mass manipulation through media or there's just no fake artificial foods that are mass produced and have poisoned the whole world of society, or at least in the USA region, because other places have been fighting back against that. So I think it's very important that people, if we can make a sustainable world, that's how I would want it to be. So yeah, I think that's it for what I want to say for a sustainable world. Yeah, so everybody drinks your water, hydrate yourself. It's good for you. Go outside if there is any sunshine outside. If there's not, just wait until there's sunshine outside. Or, find something meaningful to do. Be kinder to people. Like I said, it takes 0 cents, $0 to do that. To be kinder to people. You don't know what people are going through. I think it's important that, you find something productive and meaningful to do. Something that is outside of something that pays your bills. Just something that makes you happy, or that can make others happy if you're thinking about others. Okay? And that being said, I'm King. It's the King Moolah TV podcast, y'all. I'm out of here. Doozy.